All right, we have a Bronze 2 Lifeweaver. Now, if you want to coach yourself, feel free to join the Discord, as well as make sure to like and subscribe. Okay.
Thanks for the heal.
So starting off, preferably I'd like to see you kind of like position yourself a little bit more like probably right here. You can even throw a pedal down on the ground, kind of take advantage of the high ground for a second, get out some damage, maybe get rid of the turret, see if you can just get some ult charge that way. If anybody needs healing, look at them, heal them, and then just keep looking for damage right after. Okay, you can as well as use your dash to gain or get over to certain places faster. For example, right here, you can use your dash.
Some healing?
You can use your dash to walk forward. Because if not, you never know. Maybe somebody's going to die in result. Thankfully, your Junker Queen somehow managed to survive that. But it's not every time that your Junker Queen's going to survive that.
Let's kick this off.
In the flow.
We're outnumbered.
As well as watch your tunnel vision right there. You're kind of focusing on the Junker Queen a little bit too hard right there. Both of your DPS have died. If you kind of like, you got to be looking at the whole picture when you're playing support.
That should do it.
You can't look at one equation. You got to look at the entire equation. Also, sorry, I've been awake for 20 hours now. I'm pretty tired, so sorry if I stumble on my words. I usually start stumbling on my words when I get like pretty tired.
A little care always helps.
Okay. For example, right there, that would have been the most like perfect time you could have grabbed your Junker Queen right there. There was a perfect opportunity. You had the ability to, but unfortunately, you kind of just let her die. You don't want to be doing that.
Under my protection.
Okay.
Some healing?
Once again, you can be looking for some damage right here. Okay, and your team somehow managed to cap that. So I want to see you kind of position yourself a little bit more closer to walls. Use natural cover a little bit more. I want to see you be positioning right here. I want to see you like maybe positioning here. Play a little bit more cover because you're kind of sitting like way out in the open like this, way out like in the middle. You don't want to be sitting way out in the middle. You want to be sitting a little bit closer to here. Or, I mean, even position yourself like right here could work. Or position yourself in here. Once again, just make sure you use a natural cover. Don't be walking way out in the open like that. Because I can guarantee you, you're probably going to get killed for that.
Nerf this.
Huge ult by the enemy diva. That definitely made a massive difference. As well as right here, this is a perfect time to look for damage. Nice. Okay. So once again, kind of remember you can walk backwards like this. You can dash yourself backwards, you would have been a little bit more fine. But you kind of dash yourself forwards towards the entire enemy, and they're able to get a little bit more damage off on you.
Damn.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
Okay.
Life protects life.
Very questionable ult. And the reason why I say it's a very questionable ult is because it's probably not going to be used a whole lot right there. So when it comes down to throwing down your ult, you shouldn't be holding it the whole entire time while peeking. Go look for some damage, possibly look for any heals, any grabs that you can do, and anything like that. Kind of push up and then see where your team's probably going to need it the most, like the best of their ability. Then you're going to want to be throwing down your tree. But you don't want to be throwing down your tree entirely, exactly like... You don't want to preemptively aim and then throw down your tree because, I mean, that tree right there necessarily wasn't really the best.
The dragon becomes me.
Now, it did heal your Junker Queen, but I think regardless, your Junker Queen could have survived that as long as you gave her natural healing.
Bounding force.
Into the
I'm moving
iris.
the payload. Feel free to join me. A little care always helps.
Catch you later.
They built a turret!
All right.
Enemy turret.
You can play up a little bit more closer. Even right here, you could throw down your pedal right here, and you can kind of get a little bit more distance on like the healing and everything like that. See if you can get a little bit of healing. Maybe even throw your pedal down right here so you can look for a little bit more damage on top of that. As well as be aware of being able to grab. Kind of tunnel vision on the Genji right there. You got to focus on what's going on in front of you as well.
I have the
There you go.
payload. Everyone relax. Enemy turret on
Can't have it getting worse.
'Cause you never know. Those few seconds that you decided to watch your Genji right there, your queen could have easily died. Could have easily got dove and could have easily died right there.
Take out the enemy's turrets.
Unfortunate.
Long by the side.
Fury backed up. Kind of looked a little bit confused there. This is the situation that I'm talking about with looking at the whole entire picture. So, you notice that the Curie died, and then you started to freak out. You got to be paying attention to what's happening to everybody on your team. So now that the Curie's dead and your tank's pushing up, more than likely your tank's probably going to die. So you're going to want to like maybe rotate around here. Look for your tank, maybe get a pull on them if they get low enough so you can be able to peel for them.
dissolution.
But you kind of hesitated a little bit. And in Overwatch, you can't hesitate.
Enemy turret here.
You got to act, and whether it's the right decision or not, you'll learn. All right.
Enemy turret destroyed.
If we put our minds to it, I'm sure we can move that payload.
Thanks.
Bounding forth.
Okay, look for some damage.
Turret offline.
Might as well.
A touch of regrowth.
EMP activated.
Once again, look at the whole picture.
Untouchable.
Stick with the payload. You make great target practice.
As well as you got to be looking for pulls on certain players. Now, I know like recently you really haven't positioned yourself up to like set yourself up for pulls. But for example, you got a Sombra all the way over there. She could die. I was literally just about to say that. She's kind of positioned at herself in a dangerous spot. You could have been able to pull her if you're kind of positioning yourself like a little bit more closer to this wall right here. Would have been able to save her. You got to be focusing on your pulls because your pulls are going to single-handedly carry some games.
The battle ignites me.
Okay.
Nerf this.
My soul in the light.
Once again, look kind of how you're positioned. You're kind of positioned so far back. You're not really even in the fight. You kind of position yourself like a little bit more closer up to like right here. Then you can look for a little bit of damage. You can look for a little bit better heals. Carrie's standing still.
From life.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
Into the
All right.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Fire.
Junker Queen. Let the Kitsune guide you.
Interesting Kyriel. Interesting Genjiel. Where are you going? You got to keep going forward. As well as you got to pay attention to what your tank's doing right there. I know your tank kind of overextended a bit right there, but you got to be paying attention to that. You got to be focused on everybody on your team. You can't focus at one at a time. You got to focus every single player on your team. Like right here, that's a good pull.
Stay near.
I was going to say, pull him back. Let him reset for a second.
Enemy turret here.
That's all you had to do.
I wreak chaos.
Windborn.
Again,
Life protects
huge ult.
life.
Actually, that was a good ult. I'll give you credit for that. All right. I mean, right here, you can look for some damage. You don't really have a whole lot to do to heal.
Tree's gone.
Look for some damage right here.
Fire.
Up and at 'em. Life from life. Long by the silo. Time for spring.
Once again, pay attention to what's happening on your team. You got some players that are low. Thankfully, they were able to stay alive right there. Unfortunately, your Sombra wasn't able to stay alive, actually. So you got to be paying attention to your team as well. I do like the attempt that you were going in there and looking for some damage, but I don't want to see you like full send in there like you just did right there, though. I'd kind of like to see you kind of position yourself like a little bit more further back, like kind of like this. Look for some damage like that. You can get the same amount of value instead of walking forward straight into the enemy team. So you got to be paying attention to that. You got to be playing a little bit more safe.
Decimated.
Aw, I feel a war inside.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Check out the enemy's strength.
60 seconds.
A touch of regrowth. You're better off with me.
EMP
Yep.
activated.
You can use your dash to get you some extra health. Perfect. Now, look for some damage. You don't need to heal here. Just look for some damage. Alright, nice. So, overall, after that first start, what do you need to work on? The biggest issue from what I see so far that you need to work on is you need to be working on your pulls, and you need to be focusing on the whole entire picture. You're not focusing on the picture, and you kind of just like look a little bit confused. I think you hesitate a little bit too much. You need to have confidence. You need to have like a lot of confidence.
Stop the payload.
Now, I want you to be looking for pulls. Look for, or try to set you up to a position where you can be able to actually like get a good pull. Because I've noticed there's a lot of times where you're like way underextending. Like you're super far back here. Are you going to be able to pull your Doomfist if he's all the way back here? No, you're not going to be able to pull him from there. But let's say right up here, would you be able to pull him? Let's say if he's a little bit closer, then yeah, you'd be able to pull him. Let's say like even right up here, would you be able to pull him right here? Guaranteed, yes, you can pull him right there. So you got to be paying attention to like certain spots where you want to position yourself so you're able to set yourself up for success. Because there's a lot of times throughout that entire time on attack, you kind of position yourself and set yourself up for failure in a way. Now, you got to be paying attention to when your ult's going to actually make a difference. That last ult that you did actually was pretty good. And the reason why is because it allowed your whole entire team to be able to engage in a push. You want to be looking to enable your team with an ult. Now, your first ult, though, you kind of ulted the point, and I mean, it didn't really save anybody. It helped your Junker Queen get a little bit of health, but I think regardless, she probably would have survived. So, look for some damage as well. You want to be looking for some damage.
Ready?
Like early on in the fight right here, look for some damage. You got no reason to heal.
Better, I hope.
Now you have a reason to heal, but now guess what? Now you can look for some more damage. Because you're constantly healing. Who needs healing? The answer is really no one. No one really needs healing. Now, once again, what I'm talking about with setting yourself up for success, unfortunately, I don't think you really would have been able to save him. You might have been able to go right here, throw down pedal, jump up in the air, and then pull him like that. That probably would have been your best bet, but you kind of position yourself a little bit too far back, and in result, guess what? Your Doomfist died. He could have been savable. I can't guarantee that he would have been savable, but there's a good chance that you would have been able to pull him if you did exactly what I said. So, pay attention to what's happening with your tank. Pay attention and try to set yourself up for good pulls. Because if you can't set yourself up for good pulls, then there is a chance that you're probably not going to win games.
Something for the snake. Need a lift? Stay near the immortality field.
Okay. Once again, like right here even, look for some damage. Perfect.
Medical gentlemen should stick together. Lots more options from above.
Unfortunately, I probably wouldn't focus the pull on the Baptiste right there, and I kind of try to focus on the pull on the Junker Queen, because she's kind of in a situation where she kind of set herself up for failure. I think she's in like a 1v3, so she's probably going to die. Your Baptiste right up here, I think, was only in the 1v1 against the Torb, so if he died, that would have been on him. Your Junker Queen kind of overextended. Your Queen's a little bit more important than the Bap. So preferably I'd like to see you kind of try to pull the queen out of that like massive overextend in feet. Okay, go ahead and look for some damage. Now this is exactly what I'm saying. You kind of walked forward a little bit and then walked backwards like that. Just walk right over here, walk back and forth like this, look for some damage that way. Say Diva dives you, that's your time to walk out. I can guarantee you're probably going to survive it because you're in bronze and nobody knows how to finish a kill in bronze.
Let's put a stop to that payload.
Their Diva has showed that twice now.
Team to me.
Once again, look for some damage. Perfect. Good. Keep looking for some damage.
Warmth of Biolite.
Enemy turret. Scrap it. No time for whinging. Nerf this.
Okay.
Kill the Mahal.
Nice. Surprisingly, nobody... I don't think anybody has died to a Diva bomb yet. Hopefully your Baptiste will save you right there.
Something for the sting. We're
Okay,
outnumbered.
so this is exactly what I'm talking about once again. You're only focusing on your Baptiste right there. Guess what? Everyone else is dead now. You would have been able to maybe pull one of those players right there and save them, but you're so focused on looking downwards and walking behind when you could have been walking backwards like this and focusing on maybe getting a pull, maybe being able to save your queen for a second so she can walk back on point and be able to touch. But unfortunately now can't really touch.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Once again, you know that the Moira should have been low there because you did do damage to the Moira. I'll finish off the Moira.
Bounding forth.
Right. Now, unfortunately, Moira's going to punish you for it. Or maybe not. Maybe not. You're actually able to get out.
I have located the enemy.
Your strength.
Better up high, isn't it?
Yep. Go ahead and heal a little bit.
EMP activated.
That probably would have been your good time to use your ultimate right here.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
No one can stop me!
Down goes an
Okay, nice.
The warmth of Biolite.
No way.
Born with me.
Huge immortality by your Baptiste.
Thanks.
So once again, using Tree of Life there probably would have been a little bit necessary. Now, even though you did win the fight, team fight, there's a chance that you couldn't have won that team fight. So I definitely think still using your tree right there would have been necessary.
Feeling better, I hope.
Enemy turret here.
Now count that team fight that you did win. I'll count that more on the lucky side than anything. All right.
They built a turret! Enemy turret destroyed.
So what you could do is kind of like try to go back to the Mega right here. I mean,
Life protects life.
you are basically gaining infinite value just by distracting the tank here single-handedly. So, okay.
Enemy turret ahead. Get on the pylon and slow it down.
Nice work.
Take care.
I guess that works.
Enemy turret
Preferably though, I would like to see you kind of just like take the death right there. Go for the Mega, see if you can stall a little bit longer and then just take the death. Because using your tree right there, although it is like pretty funny, unfortunately now you don't have tree for this next fight, and regardless I think the same outcome would have happened where your team would have won the fight. So okay, Torb is going on a
Decimated.
off angle, missing every single shot.
Kill the Mahal.
Once again right there, that would have been a perfect time to pull. As well as your Junker Queen right there. Could have walked right over here. Would have been able to pull your Junker Queen as well.
Something for the sting.
They nanoed the Moira.
Enemy turret here. Hello.
Yeah, you best bet right now though. Walk back, reset.
Just what the doctor ordered.
That's what I'm saying about with Tree right there. That would have been a pretty good time to use Tree with that fight.
Irrepressible.
Behind you.
Pistol. Some healing.
Behold my creation. Nerf
Take them out. Get into the field.
Okay.
The payload has reached the
Unfortunately, they end up capping.
Enemy turret up ahead.
Okay, so once again, I want you to be paying attention to the whole picture again, because you kind of have your moments where you kind of like start tunnel vision, or you'll start to like focus on one certain aspect of the game, and the rest of your team will instantly die. You need to focus on everything that's happening. Now, you can kind of back yourself up a little bit, maybe position yourself like a little bit right here. Let's say the rest of your team's right here, like in this area right here. From watching your gameplay, you'll probably be with them. When you could position yourself kind of maybe a little bit right here, then maybe like walk a little bit more wide like this, then maybe look for some damage right here as your team kind of pushes up a little bit. So you still have LOS of your team, so you still can like see the picture throughout your whole entire screen. You want to be focusing on that tremendously. Okay, keep walking back.
Enemy turret ahead. Looks dangerous.
I guess currently right now you can look for a little bit more damage, but just remember, once you get into the higher ranks again, sitting kind of like right here, if the diva dives you, there's a good chance that you can't die. You got to keep that in mind. As well as Moira's using your platform, so you might want to either destroy the platform or do some damage to her.
Reality
Nice.
bends to my will.
Okay.
Barriers in the there's the enemy turret. Take it out.
Perfect.
Enemy turret eliminated.
Right there. Keep looking for some damage. Right now, no reason to heal the Reinhardt. Unless if he pins straight in like that and he gets anti. Then you should probably pull him right now. Unfortunately, you didn't pull him and he dies. You got to pay attention to the pulls. You've had plenty of opportunities throughout this game to get like life-saving pulls, but I feel like you're kind of like hesitating on it because you don't want to get flamed or anything like that. You don't want to be doing that. You 1000% want to be focusing on the heals or be focusing on the pulls. Whether it's the right decision or not, you'll learn. But the best way to learn is by making the mistakes.
Bounding forth.
And sometimes by making mistakes, I mean, sometimes we won't make mistakes. By learning, by attempting new things. I feel like you're way too scared of making mistakes that you're refusing to learn whether it's the right decision or not. You can't be doing that. You 1000% need to have confidence. Like right here, even. Finish off the diva. That works too.
You're in the way.
About 3 punches in a row. Yeah, once again, you got to be focusing on the pulls. Like, you've had a lot of opportunities to use your pull, but I think you might be a little too scared. You got to pull players. All right, sorry about that. I am back.
My ultimate is charged.
All right, we're going to speed up right here.
60 seconds remaining.
Kind of had to go back a little bit. I had to go do something real quick.
Some healing.
Breaking them down.
Okay. Once again, I focus on the pull right here.
30 seconds remaining.
A touch of regrowth. The numbers do not favor us.
Nerf this.
In the flow.
Incoming.
That was close. Go for some damage.
10 seconds remaining.
It's go time.
Even this would be a perfect time to pull your doofus right there. Just kind of pull your doofus for a second so he doesn't go full in like that and then die. Unfortunately, doofus is probably going to die there. He did get a pick, but I'll extract you. There we go. Unfortunate. So kind of pushed up a little bit too far. Couldn't really get a full perspective right there. think you had your pedal. You could have been using your pedal right there. Maybe get a little bit of height so you can kind of look around and see what's going on. Because unfortunately, they might be able to actually end up capping this, and it was 100% preventable. So what you could have done is, I guess, even if the Doomfist goes in, punches, then you can try to pull him out as soon as he punches. But I mean, once again, the Doomfist was one tap right there. That would have been a perfect time to pull him out. If you pulled him out, more than likely, you probably would have been able to win that. All right, we're gonna speed up right here.
Stop the payload.
Take him out.
Okay,
Feeling better, I hope.
good pull. As well as sometimes you can't even pull just to like make sure they don't take damage for a second, because that can save players' lives.
30 seconds remaining.
Sojourn en route.
Their time is short.
Hello.
Okay.
By the side. We're outnumbered.
Once again, just focus on what you're doing, but don't be looking like backwards like that. You can just jump backwards like this. Have like eyes in the back of your head. Know exactly where you're going when you're walking backwards. Once again, look for some damage.
10 seconds.
Really ain't got a whole lot to lose. Now, right now though, like as soon as you got all that damage right there, that probably should have been your cue to get back. You know they have a diva, so she can close distance pretty fast. Thankfully, you're able to get back that way, but once again, high rank, you're probably not going to be able to get back.
Take it out.
Some healing.
Enemy turret destroyed. Healing fortified.
Stop the payload.
Windborne.
Targets locked. Open fire. Disrupted. Enemy turret here.
Stay near.
Nice pull. Now, unfortunately, he still died. Not really a whole lot you could have done right there. Maybe if you kind of position yourself like a little bit, tiny bit farther back, you could have been able to pull him a little bit more further back so you could gain a little bit more distance. But that was a nice pull. That's a perfect example. Even though he still died,
The checkpoint.
you at least tried to save him. That's what matters. As well as you can wait until your thing's a little bit more charged up. You get the heal off.
The enemy's got a turret. Enemy turret eliminated.
Feeling better, I hope.
Gale the Mahal.
All right, that'd be a perfect time to pull. Perfect.
Life protects
Nice tree.
life.
That's exactly what you want to do right there. Where's your Junker Queen going? Oh no.
There's the enemy turret. Take it out. Enemy turret destroyed.
It's go time.
Maybe still winnable.
Find cover. Lucky
Nice. You know what? Punch, punch, punch. Nice.
Regulate. Hey.
You know, whatever works. Whatever works, I guess. All right, speed up right here. That will just start right here.
Escort the payload.
a touch of regrowth.
We're moving out. Expect resistance.
Look for some damage. You're playing a lot better right now than you were in the beginning. I can guarantee you that. You're actually using the pulls. You got to be doing that way earlier in the game. If you're not going to be doing that way earlier in the game, if you're not going to be looking for damage when you're doing like exactly how you're playing right now, that's way better than what you were playing in the beginning. As well as right there, you have to pay attention to that. You got to have that split second decision. Instantly, like the second you saw how low he got, should have been an insta pull right there. You were hovering over him, you would have been able to pull him right there. And if you're able to pull him right there, you would have saved his life. As well as probably right there, could have thrown down pedal like right up here. Look for like around a little bit. Probably could have gained you a little bit more access on understanding what's happening with the soldier right there, so you would have been able to pull the soldier if he's in trouble, as well as kind of just being able to look for a little bit more damage right here, maybe even be able to boost yourself right over here and kind of help your soldier get the 2v2. as well as once again kind of pay attention to the whole situation that's going on. There's a lot of situations where like even like if certain players will like die on an off angle, you'll constantly focus on that off angle for the players that you're not even focusing on what's going on in front of you in the other situation that's going on. There's multiple situations, especially as a support. You got to be focusing on multiple situations. Unfortunately, you died, so not really a whole lot you can do. Just regroup.
It's not
Yes, sir.
embarrassing if you're shameless.
30 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Feeling better.
Fortunately, Boulder pushed in pretty heavy right there. That probably would have been your perfect time to kind of get a pull off on your Junker Queen right there.
Stay near,
Either or works. Preferably, I kind of try to pull her like a little bit more sooner just so she doesn't get antied. And on top of that, you can bait out the anti as well.
Lots more options from above. Life from life. Turret ahead.
وليهم قوتك.
Kill the Mahal.
Once again, focus on the pull. As well as you have to kind of touch here as well. You don't really have much of a choice. Unfortunately, you didn't touch. And unfortunately, you died. So let's talk about everything you need to work on. Pulling. You need to get a little bit better on that. You need to be focusing on the situation that's happening. You need to focus on the entire situation. Don't focus on this situation right here. You got to focus on the situation back here as well. You got to be focusing on everything that is happening. Now, a good way to focus on everything that's happening is kind of position yourself where you can focus on everything that's happening instead of kind of positioning yourself where you can focus on only one situation like this. You got to be paying attention. This is just hypothetical, by the way. You got to be paying attention to the entire situation, though. You can't only pay attention to one situation. Now, when it comes to pulls, you need to be a lot more aggressive on your pulls. Now, I mean, if people flame you for your pulls, it's whatever. At least you got a few more saves. But you can't hesitate on your pulling. And the reason why I say you can't hesitate on your pulling, especially in this rank, is because they're going to feed their brains out. Your team is going to feed like crazy. So you want to stop them from feeding by saving them. So you got to pay attention to that. 1000% need to focus on your pulls, focus on your heals as well. There's a lot of times where you kind of just like start spamming once you get down to like, once you get 20 health in. Each shot by Ana is like 75, I believe, right now. And by the time you get out 40 health, she's got out like a shot and a half. So focus on like building up your burst a little bit more to like 80. Now you can kind of use it a little bit more sooner if like a certain player is like low in their LOS and everything like that, and you don't think you're going to be able to get like that 80 charge to be able to get the heals off like that. Then you can kind of spam it a little bit like you were doing, but you kind of want to be like using that a little bit more to get like larger amounts of health for a burst, as well as the damage. How you're doing the damage like right in the beginning right here. You're getting some damage out and then you're healing when you need to heal. Make sure you're damaging and then heal when you need to heal. Now, it's a little bit more difficult to do with Lifeweaver. I think he's probably the hardest support to find like a damage and heal rhythm just because of how his kit is. But you do got to find that rhythm. And I think that's really all. As well as using your pedal. You got to use your pedal to your advantage a lot more. You haven't really been using your pedal at all. But anyway, though, I really hope this video helped out. I'll see you later.